negative Monday. I guess we can call it negative Monday. Bloodbath, not so much, but we did get an altcoin season for roughly 3 days, and then we're back in the gutter. Let's go and talk about what is happening. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hope you guys are doing very well. Welcome to the show. Bitcoin, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, as far as the market overview, we'll get into that as well. Currently $112,000, briefly went up to 113. It is down across the board. Within the hour, you did see some buying, some buyership, but that's just buying this magnificent dip, if you will. I guess you would say that. When it comes to what's going on, massive liquidations across the board. Let's go ahead and get into that. In the past 24 hours, guys, it's been pretty phenomenal when it comes to these particular ranges of liquidations. You have a pump BTC pair too as well. In the past 24 hours, over 460,000 traders were liquidated, guys. Totally decimated. The total liquidations comes in at around 1.7. Let's go ahead and round it, $1.7 billion, which is ridiculously insane. The largest single liquidation happened over at OKX. It's going to be a BTC USDT swap valued at $12.74 million. It's pretty crazy. All of it is longs, guys. So you got a lot of people trying to get some cheap Bitcoin, playing the game. This is going to happen every time it hits 115, 118. You're going to see this, and it affects the entire market. Let's get back to the countdown. So as it stands, you do have $112,000 Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit so we can see this. I know you guys have seen this chart. It's pretty phenomenal. We're in the day. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up a little bit because I got to show you this, guys. This is crazy. I know you see this. Money out the door, this MHR, the actual money velocity was crazy. The actual rate of selling, that sell pressure was absolutely insane. We're going to be looking at an actual ROI too when it comes to 2024 going into 2025. It looks pretty promising. We do have crypto ETFs that are going to be approved going into October. That's going to boost altcoins. I think that's going to move altcoins like we've never seen them before. But when it comes to BTC, it does dictate the movement of the market. It is the leader of the pack, right? And as you can see, pretty big time selling right here. You can see this God, I call it a devil candle, not a God candle, a devil candle straight into the basement. You do see some consolidatory patterns here going into later this evening. Probably within the week, we're going to consolidate around 112, 113, barring any weird stuff that may happen. We did get some news, essentially no rate cuts. Now this really didn't come from the chairman, but we are seeing some chatter, some in-house chatter that's actually being leaked that we're not going to see rate cuts for the rest of the year. Those planned rate cuts going into December, not so much. 2 of them were already baked in the cake. That's why the first initial one that we seen last week really didn't amount to anything. So I don't know if this is causing this. This is a lot of liquidated patterns essentially, with the loans making up $1.6 billion for those actual liquidations. So you're seeing a Bitcoin that is actually dumping. A lot of whales are selling. They didn't like the news about the potential of the rate cuts being actually X'd out for the rest of the year. That is affecting the market. And if you saw the gold price, it's getting really close to 4K. So let's go ahead and move to Ethereum. We do see Ethereum comfortably sitting at $4,000, and I'm going to go ahead and round it up to $4,200, guys. We'll look at ETH here in a little bit. Here's your ETH chart. It is actually doing the same thing. It's following and mirroring Bitcoin. These two kind of move simultaneously across the board. Sometimes you see deviation, but you're looking at ETH. The sub-GUI is a big problem with ETH. It is hyperinflationary at this point in time, but I have to tell you guys, you're looking at an overvalued situation. Bitcoin overvalued every time it gets to 115. It's an overbought situation. And I know it's hard to say that. You got a lot of people projecting Bitcoin to get to $1 million per coin. That's going to take a lot of movement, a lot of actual ownership. And I'm talking across the board when it comes to these countries, strategic reserve notions, things of that nature. They're going to have to hold this Bitcoin. And before we even get to 120 or even $200,000 Bitcoin price, there's a lot of work to be done. ETH overvalued at this point in time at $4,100. That's what the metrics are saying. Now, XRP, $2.84, which is an undervalued situation. If you will believe that, I don't know if a lot of you are going to believe that, but XRP is actually sitting at $2.84. It does crest at $3. It is considered undervalued, which is phenomenal for you holders out there. It is down across the board, 5% for the week, almost 5% for the 24-hour period. A lot of people are saying exchanges are selling a lot of XRP. You know, I haven't looked into that data, but we'll get into that probably tomorrow. BNB under $1,000. It did move to $987. brisk sell-off today within a 24-hour period, 6% sell-off within BNB. That was a pretty considerable sell-off because BNB was at $1,018 over the weekend. It was running hard. Solana is getting very close to $200. Dogecoin down by the week, 10% reduction. Tron 34 cents. Justin Sun is holding that flow. We all know what's going on with that. Cardano 82 cents down across the board. Hyperliquid down within the 7-day period. Almost an 8% drop in that price recently, which is crazy. $48 for that. Chainlink $21, holding the line there, down across the board too as well. Still above 20. AVAX still doing great, up 10% on the week, down 3% within a 24-hour period. Suchain with that $50 million burn off of that coinage, which was phenomenal. That buyback and burn was crazy with Suchain. $3.35. Stellar 36 cents. And we're going to round it up with Bitcoin Cash and Hedera Age Bar, which you will see an ETF coming up with that as well. That is, both of those are down across the board. So that is the market in a nutshell. I want to move to this particular situation so we can talk about the actual monthly returns, because I think there's some promising data here. Let's get to it. All right, so traditionally September, October, November, December, not so much, but last year, we're talking 2024, right above me here, guys, you were looking at a 14% induction of massive gains when it comes to Bitcoin, essentially. So we're looking at 14.26% going into the latter part of 2024. We will be rolling into that 2025 year when we actually came through this, going into a not only a Bitcoin halving season, but ETFs for Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of was a little bit laggy, but that came a little bit after the Bitcoin ETFs. And then that's when we've seen a reductive drop after that news was dropped to $78,000, right? We're roughly at around 112,000 right now. So this is what I wanted to bring to you before we closed here. 2025, we're looking at September up 3.28% when it comes to that return of value on Bitcoin. It's looking pretty good going into October, November, December. We don't know what's going to happen in December. It's pretty random, but traditionally, December is a down month for Bitcoin. Now, November and October in 2024 was pretty robust, but we understand why. This was the actual inaugural announcement, not only with the Bitcoin president, Donald Trump was coming into office, but the actual outlook when it comes to strategic reserves, the buyership across the board, across the world, cryptocurrency being embraced. That was very exciting. So you're seeing 14.26% of reductive value return in last year in October going into November, and that rolled into the new year in January as well with a 6.54% induction of values. So are we going to see this going into this latter part of this year? That is to be determined, but we're looking pretty damn good. It's very promising, and I'm going to leave you with this, guys. Be mindful of the situation here. We will be entering an overvalued sector when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. Not so much for XRP. It is undervalued at this point in time. This is what the metrics are saying, but when it comes to Bitcoin, overvalued. Every time we top off at 120, you're going to see a lot of selling, as well as Ethereum as well. So let me know what you think about the report, and I'll see you tomorrow in the live stream. Take it easy, guys.